What's up, everyone? It's me again. Today, I'm just gonna do like a uncut raw video, just showing a little bit of my N64 collection that has been with me for quite a while now. This is my N64. It has the expansion pack for games like Donkey Kong 64, Perfect Dark, and Majora's Mask. Remember that there were also more games that it improved and enhanced the graphics. So as you can see, it's been working. I play it once in a while with some friends of mine, under 30s also that come over sometimes. It's quite fun because like we grew together playing this console. So it's like for us, it's so nostalgic that it's fun playing it once in a while. So these are my controllers. I have one controller of each color here, mainly, for multiplayer purposes. And as you can see, I have modified the control stick of all of these four because they tend to wear it off with time, like easily, and they get you know they break down. So I just replaced it with a GameCube analog stick, but it pretty work. It works like it's smaller, but it's functional. So that's the important part of it. I still have one original N64 controller that doesn't have the analog stick modified. So that's the one I'm keeping in case it just if I wake up and feel like I want to play a game with it, like the authenticity of a N64 controller. Then I just keep it as a backup. So my instruction booklets, starting off as Diddy Kong Racing, one of my all-time favorites. I think it was one of the first games that I acquired back then. I think it's way more fun than Mario Kart. That's just my opinion. To me, like Mario Kart is so random. Whereas Diddy Kong Racing, you can pick, the items according to the balloon colors, and I don't know. The dynamics felt different. I like the maps. I liked the tracks. Everything about this game. So I just keep it. Uh, you know, like I just keep it because it's one of my favorite games. There's F1 World Grand Prix. It's like a Formula One kind of game. Not so much I can talk about it. Oh, Cruising World. That was like a sequel for Cruising USA. Great game too. And a little bit on Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. Uh, Two jewels from Rare FPS games that were quite a success back then. Multiplayer is still very fun. And Mission Impossible. I remember purchasing this game, thinking it would be similar to GoldenEye, like the dynamics and etc. It was a little bit quite of a deception, but it's a good game nevertheless. So, starting off with the games, there's the Diddy Kong Racing, like I mentioned, and there's there's the GoldenEye one. There's the South Park. I remember it was quite fun with multiplayer too. At least here in Brazil, it was also quite a success. I think this is even a Brazilian version of the cartridge, as I can read here from behind the cartridge. Uh, we do have soccer games. International Superstar Soccer 64 and 98 as in the year. Quite fun games for soccer fans. It was a big deal back then. There's a Mario Kart here. We have a sequence of Star Wars games, which I quite enjoyed it a lot. So we have Battle for Naboo. I really liked that game too. It was a mixture of Rogue Squadron and Rogue Squadron with different dynamics. You have the star fighters from the prequels of Star Wars, which was very cool. Have the Episode 1 story. It was fun, and there's the Rogue Squadron, right? As I mentioned, That's a great game also. Like uh, quite innovated, the Starfighter games back then. So we have Shadows of the Empire, great game as well, and Episode One Racer, which was one of my all-time favorite racing games because I mean it's so fast. You have all the dynamics. You can upgrade your pod racer. Like it's so fun. There's the Mission Impossible here. Quite fun actually. Nevertheless, you have those missions. You have to use Facemaker to cover, to change the feature of Ethan Hunt for another person, and you have to accomplish the missions. It was an interesting game like that. Classic Super Mario 64, must have for all N64 owners. Star Fox 64 used to enjoy this game a lot. I remember playing this over and over for, like, did several runs, maybe 3 times the same day, like several runs throughout the week, like sort of trying to attempt to get the medal in each of the planets. It was a very fun game. Another soccer game, forgot about that, the World Cup 98. It was our FIFA back then. Um, Formula One, of course, like just as in the instruction booklet. So um, let's see what we have here. So Dark Rift, I don't remember playing that much. Like I didn't like it much back then. It was a fighting game. It was okay, I guess. So there's the Cruising USA, as I mentioned before. Like Cruising World was a sequel to it. Can't find my Cruising World though. Probably it's not in this box. Perfect Dark, and uh, which pairs up with GoldenEye. I need to just put them together, but great game. Um, in the end of the day, I mean, all of the missions was cool. I remember that I didn't know about the expansion pack back then, so when I first rented out Perfect Dark, I uh, I realized I couldn't play the single player missions, and I didn't understand why. So only then, back then you didn't have like internet that easily just to go up and search, and only like weeks later I realized that you needed this specific feature in order to play that game. So you had to buy that separately because it expanded N64 memory, something like that, and that would enable you to play the single player mission. So I just rented it out and only could play some very limited multiplayer maps, which was quite frustrating at the time because expectations were so high back then. So I do have some Pokemon games. Uh, that's Pokemon Snap. Great fun back then. I mean, it was, I think, the first game that you got to see all the Pokemon in 3D and such. So it was quite fun. Pokemon Stadium 2 as a sequel to Pokemon Stadium 1, which was quite cool. Still like has this gold, silver plated, just as in the Game Boy games. Remember spending hours playing those games. Great fun. And well, Super Smash Brothers must have for all N64 owners. Best multiplayer fighting game series of all time, in my opinion. I think it's still fun to the day. Um, I remember playing this, and then the Melee, and then the Brawl, and then I lost track. Probably I play a little bit of the Switch version uh, at a friend's of mine's home. So, The Legend of Zelda, classic ones, must have for all N64 owners as well. Great games. Great adventure games. I don't think I need to say anything about those. All of the fans know them pretty well. And one of my all-time favorites for N64, the sequel Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. Great adventure games to me. personally, I think it's way more fun than Mario 64, even though I like Mario 64, but I don't know, Banjo Kazooie has something special within, the dynamic of the worlds, the maps, the map design, the, the skills that you have, the moves, the move sets, the bosses, the dialogues, everything over, within these games was so much fun. So I really, really enjoyed spending like hours trying to finish these games to 100%. And I remember it was frustrating because I think it was Banjo Kazooie that if you die on a map and you start picking up the notes, you reset the note count. So you have to pick the 100 notes um, in a single shot. So that took me hours to accomplish the and pick it up all the notes because at some point like there were some last levels that were so difficult to pick up all the notes without dying. So yeah, great fun. So this is my collection. I hope you like it. If you do, like, make sure to leave a like and a comment to suggest what should I do next. Okay. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, and bye.